What'd you say?
I said, and pack 'em light.
Pack a bag, then pack it light. Hey, pack your bags, then pack 'em light.
We rushed if you didn't.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time at the shelter.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time and shit.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Oh, she does say it. That's right.
Well,
She said it. She literally said the word.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So everybody's favorite studio, Sweet Baby Inc. has delivered us gamers with a brand new experience featuring the stunning and brave Shatisha Nikwa, I mean Hazel, who most certainly is not a self-insert of Kim Belair or anything like that. Ignore that she looks just like the main character, and she also was a writer for the story. That's irrelevant and shit. But like, real talk though,
Real talk.
us modern audience sure are eating real good this year, am I right? Not only did we get Avowed, where 80% of the NPCs in that game were queens, we also got We Was Kang Shadows with our favorite brother of color,
Tongue-tied. Blood squirting everywhere. Blech. He's gurgling to death. Blech. Blech.
and then we got Bloom and Rage, the game where every body type 2 is a lesbian because, of course, lesbian power and shit. Am I right? We got Musa Simulator, where we needed to be educated on the religion of peace
Educate yourself a little.
and be educated that the mud huts of Africa were just so much more advanced than the castles of Bohemia.
Only thing I have seen of your country, and that has not made much of an impression on me.
On top of all these masterpiece modern audience games that have been released this year, we are also being blessed with South of Wakanda. Like, goddamn, 2025 is such a great year for the modern audience. If only the modern audience could, start actually supporting their games, because South of Wakanda couldn't even break 500 players on Steam.
Oh my god! What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa!
I guess they are too busy on Blue Sky complaining about Elon Musk and tariffs. Like, I just don't get why these racist white people don't buy these games. Like, who wouldn't want to play as a queen, you fucking bigot piece of shit? But on a real note though, okay? For real this time.
I just fucking... Real talk. Real talk.
I will be reviewing South of Wakanda. I mean, South of Midnight. Is this game truly as good as IGN is claiming it to be and all of the other shills? Spoiler, no, obviously it's not good. The game is dog shit, like genuinely one of the worst games I've played all year. And I'll be the based Latina who will tell you and show you just how dog shit this game truly is. Also, another spoiler, the evil big bad boss of the game is an old white woman, aka a gilf. And Tyrone basically blacks her. Is she really getting blacked? Don't tell me the black guy's gonna black the grandma. Oh my god, she's gonna get blacked. And I'm about to tap this shit hard, shit. Which, another spoiler, she's your grandma on your dad's side since you're biracial. But anyways, after booting up the game and selecting our difficulty,
I'm ready to game, bro. Who's ready? Come on, who's ready?
we get this little intro cutscene with a narrator explaining that it's raining and what a reaver is capable of doing and shit. And that's basically what we are. We're a reaver, and we'll get more into that later probably, if I don't forget. So after that, we get a cut to outside of Hazel's house where we see that it is storming outside, and Hazel looking at and reminiscing over how we was queens, we was fast as hell and shit.
man, I miss singing on the bus with these guys. Wish we had another meet. Another medal, too. We was fast as hell.
Wow, I am black, and I'm good at basketball. Look at the stylish layup, yeah.
Then after that, we get to control Hazel, and in her house, we literally get to see that she's a biracial queen who has been corrupted with the evil white man blood and shit, as we check out a photo of Hazel's younger self with her white dad.
Things got tense with Mama last time I visited you at the mausoleum, Dad.
Which I feel like the only reason they even made her dad white in the first place was because it'd be a little bit stereotypical and racist to have her dad be the stereotypical black man who left to go get milk and never came back. Which, yeah, you're probably also asking or wondering to yourself, this woman here, this stunning and brave queen, doesn't look, very mixed. Which, yeah, she doesn't. Which either means they made this change the very last minute, or they were too lazy to ever actually change her dad's appearance. Since for anybody who doesn't know at this point, Originally, before Sweet Baby became involved, Hazel was going to be a redhead white whammon, which obviously we can't have those in modern games, you know? Diversity? What's that? Never heard of it. Diversity is only the exclusion of whites and the inclusion of queens and only queens and Tyrones, you racist fucks. As you're investigating your house, you also see your stitched together ugly as fuck doll, which will become important later.
I asked Mama for a doll and got this thing instead. I know he's weird looking, but I can't help but love him.
So after interacting with all that bullshit, Hazel finally decides it's time to start packing for this emergency flood. And as she is packing her shit, her mother comes into the door.
It is really picking up out there.
And of course they lead into the stereotype that all Kangs and queens value their Jordans above all else.
Hey, Hazel, think fast.
Come on, Mama. We don't have room for my track shoes.
You know how expensive those things are. You best find somewhere to pack them.
Shit, you best find some place to pack them Jordans and shit.
Waste time?
That's not what I meant. It's just, you left me to prep for a hurricane by myself.
Oh, I thought you was grown.
And so Hazel and her mom get into an argument over the weather and how her mother didn't help her pack her 5 items and Jordans into a tiny little box. Then Hazel brings up Bunny, which is the gilf I mentioned earlier, which is your grandma on your dad's side.
What if we called up Bunny and go over there? You know, the mansion with the hurricane-proof windows?
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
And again, spoiler, the villain and shit. Also, I really want to freeze frame on Hazel's mother right here. I just want to stress, I mean, no disrespect to all my fellow queens out there, but like, holy shit, this is one of the ugliest character designs I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, how down bad was Hazel's dad that he decided to hit this abomination of a creature? He must have been hella drunk one day. Then after finding out he got this thing pregnant, he like no-noed himself off screen or something, which to be honest, I don't really blame him, okay? Like, I think we'd all do the same. Would you really want to be married to this thing till death do you part? No, probably not. That's why he obviously took the death route. But seriously, for all the people also claiming this game has a good art style, I highly disagree. I genuinely hate this shitty ass Enter the Enwa man, Enter the Spider-Verse bullshit character designs in this choppy ass frame rate. Like, who the fuck ever asked or wanted to play a game in stop motion? Like, for real. This art style is atrocious and all the characters look like absolute shit. But you know, this is modern gaming for you. Normalize ugliness and to demoralize you. These shit infested DI games have no target audience. Nobody is buying them yet. These shill journalists and reviewers will make sure to try and sell you this shit on a stick. I think we're all just getting tired of looking at ugly games.
Real talk.
So Hazel brings up the gilf again and it makes her mom angry.
Don't understand why we can't go over there. Bunny still can, even if Daddy's dead. Just tell me
Hazel,
why.
please.
So Hazel also gets angry and accidentally breaks a coffee mug that is from your other grandma.
While you're out helping everybody else.
Damn it! Your great-grandmother made this.
You never told me that.
I shouldn't have to tell you something is important for you not to break it.
And so your mom gets mad over the 99-cent coffee mug her grandma probably got at the Dollar Tree and starts to fume. And after that, you storm off and need to check up on your neighbors to see if they are all doing okay. So you meet up with your redneck neighbor who is a white guy living in a trailer park. And after that, you meet up with the LGBT grandma, which yeah, another old disgusting gilf character, which there will be more later on in this game. Like, wow, shocking. This game is just really obsessed with making every character either ugly, old, or ugly and old at the same time. You then look out the window and see your house fall into the river with your mama in it.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight.
And you gotta chase your house down the river with your mom in it, which I'm not gonna lie is pretty retarded. And this part of the game is basically just a walking sim. Although to be honest, this entire game is basically just a walking sim with some light platforming, which unironically might be the best part about this game, which really isn't saying much. It's incredibly basic, and if they removed like half the shitty ass combat encounters and just further fleshed out the platforming, the game could have been, you know, at least maybe slightly better, maybe maybe like at least 1% better. Then we are introduced to my favorite shit in all games, automated platforming and climbing sections. Basically the same shit we've been seeing since the PS1 era with like Tomb Raider, or PS2 era with Prince of Persia. And best part of all, since this is a modern game, everything climbable or interactable is covered in white paint. My favorite.
Exciting gameplay.
Despite this game being primarily just hold the W key, as the game is incredibly linear with maybe a branching path here and there, we need white paint to guide us, despite only being able to go one direction 90% of the time. Yeah, surely I wouldn't be able to figure out to climb up this wall that is at a dead end. I really needed this white paint covering it so I knew I could climb it. Thank you, game, you're so considerate. This game really has no collectibles or any real reason to explore the world as well, other than maybe to find an EXP node or the extremely rare health upgrade, which if you find 3 you get a health upgrade. Oh my god, bro, it's literally Zelda, dude. 10 out of 10, game of the year, dude. But yeah, other than that, there's no real reason to explore the levels, no actual items to collect, power-ups, new weapons, etc. Literally nothing other than the EXP nodes and occasional HP node, which, you know, will give you a health upgrade, which really doesn't matter at all since the game isn't difficult in the slightest. The only real reason as to why you'll ever die is due to literal boredom with how dogshit the combat is. But yeah, this is an action adventure game and you have 0 weapon upgrades. It's like unironic AVGN moment. What the fuck were they thinking?
What the fuck were they thinking?
So you only have your basic Reaver weapon, which is basically dual blades, and then you'll get like 4 or 5 cooldown abilities, which are some of the most generic abilities that you'd ever see in like any game you've ever fucking played. And what combat consists of is primarily just spamming left mouse click until you get carpal tunnel. Fun game, I know.
So repetitive.
Is it dead?
What
the hell is it?
You also get a charged attack if you hold the mouse button, which doesn't really seem too good. Then you get a dodge roll with a cooldown as well. It's not that long, and you eventually can upgrade it to being able to do 2 dodge rolls right after one another. And when you defeat a monster, you'll need to unravel it to finish it off, and it'll also slightly heal you. When you unravel, it'll pause the game, and you can really take in and really savor and really enjoy watching the same finisher move about 500 or so times throughout the entire course of the game. The best way to describe the combat is weightless and floaty. There seems to be no real weight to combat, and it just feels really unsatisfying to attack enemies or even using your cooldown abilities. The game also lacks enemy variety, and you'll be fighting the same 3 to 4 enemies throughout the course of the 8 to 10 hour long, game, which every combat encounter is copy pasted. Every combat encounter you'll be locked into a relatively large flat room with a handful of bullet sponge enemies, which the game never seems to actually do anything, unique or interesting with the combat encounters. It's never like a change in elevation, like maybe you can do aerial attacks, or maybe there's like an obstacle you have to like dodge while you're fighting. No, it's always just a big ass open empty room. It's so fucking boring and repetitive. Even playing the game on easy and increasing your damage to the highest setting in the accessibility menu, the enemies take way too many hits to kill. On top of that, every enemy has about 1 or 2 moves at most, which just makes the combat again feel even more fucking boring. And after draining an enemy's health bar to about halfway, they will do this invulnerable AoE attack and their HP bar turns yellow. Basically, you can't damage them when they do this, and you need to dodge roll away. This becomes extremely repetitive and makes every encounter take about twice as long as it should. It's a horrible mechanic. Honestly, if you took out these dogshit combat encounters, the game would probably be half the length, if not shorter. So they really just pad out the game. That's all they're here for. The actual combat has literally no depth to it at all. The game even has an arrow compass telling you if you're about to get hit from behind or from the side. Like, why does this game need this? For a game like God of Soy, at least that game had the camera like glued to your fucking shoulder and you couldn't see like behind yourself. But in South of Wakanda, the camera is literally so far zoomed out, you don't need a fucking compass telling you where you're getting hit from. All the enemies are also extremely generic and just black amorphous blobs of creatures. No real creativity with enemy design. It's just very boring, bland, and forgettable. For progression, other than the health upgrades, the only other progression in the game is a really shitty bare bones skill tree where you can upgrade one of your 4 skills with 3 levels each that all do extremely basic shit like do slightly more damage or less cooldown. Basically, none of them really change up or switch up the gameplay at all other than the general skills, but even those, it's just a linear path where every 3rd option you can select between 2 different options. Wow, so much player choice, you guys. I'm so glad I can, pick from 2 options. I can't decide which one I can pick from. Oh my god. You get a basic, ground pound, a ultimate AoE attack that you need to charge up, a extra dodge, and some other other generic basic ass shit like a quicker cooldowns. It's just so bare bones and basic, might as well not even be in the fucking game in the first place. And that's pretty much all there is for gameplay. I guess I can speak about the platforming a little bit. You get an air dash, a double jump, and a slight Breath of the Wild hover or glide like ability. You can also wall run on certain walls and paraglide at areas with lots of wind. So it's extremely basic, but at least the platforming is slightly more engaging than the trash combat, but the platforming really isn't that good, to be honest. You have basic puzzles as well, if you can even call them that, where you manifest something with your powers and then push it or hit it towards something to climb over. Wow, so engaging, you guys. You'll also eventually get that voodoo doll in your house at the start, which you'll be able to control kind of like Clank from Ratchet and Clank, but much more basic and simple. Usually you just throw him into a hole that you couldn't climb into to get to a switch, and you know, he hits it and that's about it. Extremely basic. Nothing in this game is truly fleshed out or, you know, is actually that good. Alright, so now that we're done with the gameplay, you know, section or gameplay, which, you know, there really isn't too much to say about it, you eventually get to your racist grandma's house, and a literal ghoul from the Fallout games opens the door.
Excuse me, you can't just show up unannounced.
My eyes! My eyes!
And after speaking with Hag number 545, aka your grandma, and being let into her home, she lets you stay in the guest room. You have a shitty little dream sequence. You wake up, find out that your grandma has locked you in the room. Big shocker, I know. Which you sneak out and find the dual blades in another room of the mansion that you know, conveniently steal. Which I don't know what they are called and don't care to find out, to be honest. But they are the weapons that hold the ability for Hazel to become a weaver or some bullshit like that. Which straight from the wiki, a weaver is a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. You then escape out of Bunny's mansion and need to unravel this demon circle thing. I really don't know, to be honest, but to put it simply, when you unravel these spherical things, it like cleanses the land and allows you to progress or continue your journey, usually since there's like black coom everywhere, and when the spherical thing is destroyed, all the demon coom is basically destroyed. A little further on, you get to your first, you know, actual combat encounter, and I've already went over the combat, it's dog shit. Then after the combat encounter is one of my favorite parts in the entire game. You basically see the ghost of Aunt Jemima, R.I.P. a legend, am I right? Hashtag bring back Aunt Jemima. I'm tired of Pearl's Milling Company. The syrup don't hit the same as Aunt Jemima's, you know?
Real talk.
But anyways, this is supposed to be like a reference to the Underground Railroad and slavery and shit.
I know y'all nervous, maybe scared, but this ain't my first time doing this. If you trust and listen, you will be free. You and your little one. Now come on.
And then one of the ghosts is literally pregnant, which of course the ghost needs to be pregnant because of my lordy. Look at them white people abusing those innocent slaves. They just want to start a life and start a better family for themselves and shit. But no, the evil white people keep bringing us queens down and selling us for watermelon seeds and shit. Oh my god, oh my lordy. But yeah, this shit is obviously radioactive levels of cringe overlord. Forget that the Kangs sold their own people to the evil white people, which maybe I'm like hopping off the deep end at this point. Maybe I'm just becoming too based and shit right now. I don't really know. Maybe I'm going a bit off topic, but like, come on. I feel like it's much more racist for your own people to sell you off to another race. Maybe that's just a topic for another day in another video. I don't know. But I do know this, okay? Black Lives Matter. Support your local owned black businesses. Support your local queens and kangs, and hashtag St. Floyd did nothing wrong. Fuck the police for bringing the brothers down. And yeah, I stand with the LGBT ABC community as well. If you want to also support a fellow Latina sister, a proud ally like myself, aka the Latina Queen herself, make sure to join the Latina Kingdom and like the video, as I, your Latina Queen, will never let you down. Ever. Alright, bullshit aside, after doing a bunch of repetitive combat encounters, subpar platforming, and puzzle solving, we get to a talking fish, which the dialogue here is straight out of Forspoken.
Where?
My salvation.
A talking fish? Nope. Ain't no way.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind!
Like, the dialogue throughout the majority of the game has been quite bad or just mediocre, but here it's literally just Forspoken levels of fucking dog shit. So we meet with this talking fish and team up with him, and he basically helps us on our journey to find our mother. We then do some more platforming, and then we meet a cow on top of a house. Why the hell is there just a cow on top of the house? I guess it's like the Reddit humor. We finally reach the church, climb up to it, ring a bell, and then the gator attacks and destroys the church. But we end up being saved by our catfish buddy old pal, and then we find out that the cow we met like 30 minutes earlier on top of that house unfortunately did not make it out alive. Rest in peace, cow. Unironically the best character in the game. Oh no, oh my god, the cow did die. The cow did die. Oh my god, RIP cow. Can we get some F's in the chat for the cow? We then meet up with the LGBT grandma and another hag. That's basically this entire game. It's all fucking hags. This might as well be renamed as South of Gilf, because that's all you'll ever meet in this dog shit game. Like, look at that. Like, look at that creature. That thing doesn't even look human. Like, that doesn't even resemble what a human is. But yeah, this whammon right here that you're seeing on the screen, I think is supposed to be like a cowgirl priest or something, since she clearly has that white collar thing on, which I'm pretty sure whammon can't be priests or aren't allowed to be, and it's only reserved for men. I think it does depend on the denomination, but for the most part, I don't think they are allowed to be, which again, it's just more propaganda. Not to mention, like, is she not supposed to be like a woman of God? If so, then why is she wearing this extremely tight outfit to begin with? But yeah, this entire game is just propaganda if it wasn't already obvious enough. So it's pretty obvious though why they went with this whammon as the priest and not a man. Probably also because this game, similarly to Avowed, it's 80% whammon, if not 90%, and all the men are either incompetent rednecks, dead, or just nowhere to be found, which definitely not propaganda or definitely not a woke game at all. So we leave the propagandist church and eventually get to a barn and meet our good old friend DSP, or maybe I should say DSP's entire family and shit. Yo, it's DSP. It's literally DSP. Then we find a stray DSP out in the water drowning. He needs those donos, you guys. Make sure you go to DSP's stream and donate to him. Yo, DSP needs saving. He needs some donos. DSP needs some donos, you guys. But it was too late as DSP gets eaten by a croc. RIP to the pig roach. Further on, we get to Two-Toed Tom, the croc, which is the first boss of the game, and some really good music kicks in where they chant Two-Toed Tom over and over and over and over again. Oh my god, the frame rate is so dog shit. I like how they keep saying his the boss's name, like Two-Toed Tom, like over and over. Which I don't think I've even spoke about the music as of yet, so maybe I should real fast. The music is probably the best part about the game, and it's not even like the music is good. It's mostly just Disney tier music. Like, it's not horrible at all. At least most tracks aren't, but it's not great either. Most tracks also do not fit the theme or level of the game at all. It almost feels like they just put the soundtracks on shuffle. It's filled with a lot of jazz and southern music, but most just do not fit the tone of either the boss, location, or event that you are doing. But anyways, Two-Toed Tom is the first boss, and he has 3 phases. You basically need to ring the bell once he comes back to land, then you go up and attack him when he's vulnerable. It's typical Zelda-style boss fight right here, but just worse in every way and aspect. The boss lacks move variety and drags on for far too long. So once you beat the boss, he swallows you, so now you need to go and finish him off and attack his insides. You also meet DSP again, and yes, DSP actually does live, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, depending on who you are. I mean, at least we have DSP to comfort us. Look at how supportive DSP is. So we finish off the crocodile, and we eventually meet up with our grandma again, and she finds out we are a weaver and shit. Probably since we stole her shit and it's missing. Typical 13% behavior, I know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the previous areas of the game was full of literal pig shit, so that's why we have literal shit all over our clothes. Which, I mean, if we're gonna keep it a $1.53, I know it's kind of hard to tell in the first place, you know, for obvious reasons. You know, I'm not racist or anything, obviously. I mean, like, it is a little bit, you know, kind of hard to tell, okay, let's be honest. But yeah, our racist grandma gets us some new clothing since, you know, we're covered in pig shit.
Let me get you some fresh clothes.
My pig factory is no place for a girl like you to be cavorting. What do you know about hugging Molly?
I know she takes children and leaves red yarn. And I've heard that you know a lot about her.
Yes. She stole your father once when he was young.
And we asked about hugging Molly and find out this Laurent dude knows more about hugging Molly, which is the monster we saw at the very start of the game that kidnapped and stole our mama. So we set off to find Laurent, which I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like this black guy Laurent was basically our mom's boyfriend after our dad's passing in the game. So even in the afterlife, our white dad is being cucked.
Giving you a helping hand.
This is different.
I saw how she treated you and Lacey.
And how did you treat Mom?
I treated Lacey well.
Until you didn't. You just up and left us one day.
Oh, I'm all for it. Cuck life, 100%. Live the life of the cuck. Why not, right?
So he turns into like some KFC bird and we gotta fight Laurent, which is the second boss of the game, and I'll just let my gameplay speak for itself. It's dog shit. So after beating Laurent, he helps us to find Molly. So we are nearly done with this dumpster fire of a game. We get to Molly's cave or hideout, find Mama wrapped in red yarn that we've been seeing left around all over this cave and since the beginning of the game here and there. Oh my god, that's Mama right there. Is she dead? Vent is hard. And fight Molly, which is basically the final boss of the game. And it's the typical boss that is too big, so they just hover in one location or just in one location and attack you with their arms trope that we've seen in probably like 5,000 other games at this point. What a great final boss, am I right? And to damage Molly, we basically need to find the red fence laying around and use our ability to pick them up and toss it at her so she stops breathing or some shit like that. So you almost kill Molly, but she runs away, then you follow her, but then realize that Molly isn't the bad guy and she was only trying to help your mother this whole time by healing her.
Molly was healing you?
Then some child straight out of BioShock tells you that you're a bad person, and then you meet up with your grandma and find out that she's the bad guy all along and has only been using you.
You used me. I did. Why should I borrow when I can just take?
Oh my god, bro, what a twist. I never saw that one coming, you guys. I would have never seen that coming. The old racist white woman is the real bad guy and not the demonic creature. I'm so surprised by this twist. I mean, like, really, I'm so surprised. So your grandma cuts out Molly's heart.
Your toe.
Then after trying to explain that Molly was just trying to heal your mother, it upsets your grandma. So you bring up her kids and she literally pulls a Will Smith, and I'm not even joking. Take a look at this shit.
Cherie, keep her name off your lips.
Oh, wow.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Even does the Will Smith slap too. She then says her son was a mistake for marrying and breeding with a whammon of color and not a purebred white whammon. So yeah, of course our grandma hates her white dad for mixing with a black queen.
But just like my feckless son, a mistake.
Just more propaganda bullshit about race mixing, let's be honest. Which is fine, I guess. You know, if you're a white guy into black women, you know, that's cool. I don't really care too much, if I'm gonna be completely honest. You can have all the queens that you want. But I think it's more so that I'm just perplexed why you'd go with a queen over a Latina, or a white woman over a Latina, since, you know, Latinas are obviously the best and at the top of the pyramid. But yeah, she says we were a mistake, just like her son. How racist! And she throws us off a cliff, presumably to kill us, but we survive since we are a stunning and brave woman of color, and we don't die to no fall damage and shit. That's for some bitch ass Inwas, and we not a bitch ass Inwa. We a stunning and brave queen. Honestly, I couldn't even try to explain to you what happens at this point. This game's story is so fucking stupid, and I'm not rewatching the cutscenes again, but basically you interact with some object, I think, and it basically takes you to another world, or to like purgatory or some bullshit like that, or to like past memories. I'm not entirely sure, honestly, but it basically awakens your inner black queen powers and shit. So now that you are the true queen you was always meant to be and shit, with African tribal tattoos all over your body and arms, new braided up hair, the hula hoop earrings, and all the other shit, now you're basically a true queen, the queen that you were always meant to be. Let's go. Now we can finally take over the patriarchy and end racism, stop our racist white grandma, and get reparations, so we don't need to live off of food stamps no more and shit. And instead, the reparations will give us a brand new mansion and shit, just for being black, and we can eat all of the Popeyes chicken and KFC that we want. Oh my god, I can't fucking wait. Let's go, you guys. So you meet with this gay looking black dude or NBA player, and you know, there's no correlation between him being gay and black. You know, it's just you know, he's just kind of gay, let's be honest. Let's keep it a $1.99. And you do a gay ass like Disney dance with him, and he gives you a key to find your mama or some shit.
There's no payment in advance. Kuzma master, power faster, no one comes close to him. All are welcome to stay forever. Time to sink or swim. So, what's on offer with this proffer?
I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, we're totally gay.
You fight the final boss, which isn't even a boss, by the way. I guess they ran out of budget at this point in the game, and you need to just kill waves of enemies. I would also like to mention I switched the game from normal to easy maybe a third of the way through the game, since the combat was so mediocre and so utter dog shit, and to speed it up I obviously lowered the difficulty, then eventually turned off combat entirely again, since it's literally that dog shit. I even got a bug where I died at the final part of the last boss or the final checkpoint and couldn't continue, so I had to completely reboot the entire game.
Yo, like, how is this game this, like, clearly nobody tested this game. Like, I refuse to believe anybody fucking tested this piece of shit game. Like, this is the second time this happened now, or at least, like, a glitch happened where I can't, like, play the game.
So I just skipped the boss, which yes, you're able to do in this game. You can skip every single combat encounter in the game and every boss. It's almost like the developers knew just how dog shit the combat system is, so they just allowed you to skip everything. Also, at what point does accessibility just mean making the game watered down for journalists to be able to play it? Because I don't think skipping a boss fight should be an accessibility option, but you know, that's just me. So we meet up with Mama, get a brush from the NBA player, and we need to deliver it to our grandma, which basically the brush is supposed to be our grandma's daughter's brush who passed away when she was a child from drowning. And that's a symbolism, I guess, with the game and its flooding, and you also being named Hazel Flood, I guess. Basically, your grandma could never get over her daughter's death, and this brush will take her to the other world or purgatory or some shit like that. I really don't know. But it'll take her to some other place where it'll be able to manifest her daughter, you know, kind of like a Silent Hill. I mean, I guess that's kind of what this place was. It's basically their own Silent Hill. And she chooses that instead of just moving on, and obviously gets blacked by Tyrone. She's basically James from, you know, Silent Hill 2, except if he was like an old white woman and got blacked by Tyrone. Then you meet up with your mother outside of the mansion and the game ends. Thank God, what a piece of shit game, and it's finally over. But yeah, I don't have much more to say at this point other than fuck Microsoft, fuck Compulsion Games, and don't buy this sweet baby infected piece of shit game.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. Real talk.